This is your Utica Comets pregame show with Eyewitness News Sports Director David Edelstein. Utica Comets face-off.
A very formidable foe. That's how Utica Comets head coach Trent Cole described the Syracuse Crunch after practice yesterday. Good evening, everyone, and welcome to Comets Face-Off. I'm David Edelstein. The Utica Comets host the Syracuse Crunch tonight, and the teams now playing each other for the 9th time this season. Cole says the Crunch have been faster to improve this year because the Comets were on pause for an entire month, so Utica has had some catching up to do. The Comets are 2-3 against the Crunch this month since returning from COVID-19 protocols, and 4-5 in total. On Friday, coming off a shootout win over the Binghamton Devils, the Comets hosted the Americans. Cole said at that point that his team was looking much sharper. It was the rookies who shined in the first period. There, Hugh McGing scores his second pro goal. Utica takes the 1-0 lead. Then a little bit later on, Will Lockwood moving over, backhand again, his new move, scores his first pro goal just a few days earlier. Now his second pro goal. He also scored his third later on in the game, making it his first pro multi-goal game. Now Sam Annis, we've heard his name. He's had 14 assists to that point, and this game scored twice for his first 2 goals of the year. Carson Fote and John Stevens also put pucks in the back of the net. Jake Kiley made 24 saves for the win in goal. So 2-game winning streak, then a day off Saturday. Now at the Crunch on Sunday. In the first 5 minutes of the game, a breakaway. Sven Berchi is inching his way away. No one on him, just 1-1, and that's in the net for his 4th goal of the season. But after that, the ice was actually slanted in favor of the Crunch. You could almost see it slanting in the direction the Syracuse team is skating if you look. But all kidding aside, Syracuse tied it up a minute later, and then a minute and a half after that took the lead. Utica went 0 for 4 on the power play, 2 for 3 on the penalty kill. Goalie Joel Hofer made 9 stops on 14 shots, and Evan Fitzpatrick stopped 4 of his 6 shots. Cole said this week that the Comets need more consistent effort. We're looking at the standings here by points percentage because of the variation in games played by the teams due to COVID-19 protocols. Cole made a point this week to say that, quote, games are precious this year. The Comets have 11 games over the next 19 days to conclude the season. Cole says the Comets will play any game they can, regardless of their preparation level and regardless of the outcome. He says the goal is to develop players during this game experience. And speaking of being a formidable opponent, the Crunch and Comets have performed pretty similarly this season. The jarring difference, of course, that Utica's allowing more goals than it's put in net. Syracuse is on a 5-game winning streak right now. The Comets' special teams have performed much better at home than on the road this year. Specifically, the Comets' PK is 18 points better at home. The Crunch splits lean the same way, worse for them on the road, so special teams could be a key tonight. There have been quite a few roster moves for the Comets this week. The most notable is that goalie Mikey DiPietro has been loaned to Utica from the Vancouver Taxi Squad. The Comets say he's quarantining, not available for tonight's game. Dakota Joshua has been returned from his first NHL stint that included his first NHL goal. Mitch Ranke is up to the Blues Taxi Squad, plus 3 players from the St. Louis organization on tryout opportunities, goalie Will Cranley and forwards Tanner Dickinson and Keenan Washkaran. There are the names that have made it all happen for Utica. Sam Annis has been back this month and reclaims his spot as the team points and assists leader. Both categories he led the whole league in last season. Jonah Gadjevic still leads the team in goals. 1 more goal, and he has as many this year as he had all of last season. Annis also now has 2 goals to his name this year, and Gadjevic leads in putting the puck on net. And for the Crunch, remember this guy, it's all Boris Tkachuk. Another name to remember along with him is Taylor Radish. He spent some time on the Tampa Bay Lightning Taxi Squad last month. He's up in these categories as well. The only other Syracuse player besides Tkachuk averaging more than a point per game. So we're looking forward to seeing those names in action again tonight. After the break, we take a look behind the scenes of the Comets. Comets Vice President Adam Pollock is going to join us to share his thoughts on this year and also look ahead to what preparations are already taking place for next season. Stay tuned.
You're watching the Utica Comets face-off.
We've had Comets General Manager Ryan Johnson and Springfield Thunderbirds General Manager Kevin McDonald on the broadcast a few times so far this season, and they've detailed for us how they're the ones responsible for coordinating player development with the Vancouver Canucks and St. Louis Blues, respectively. Tonight, Comets Vice President Adam Pollock joins us now to discuss his thoughts on this year and also look ahead to what preparations are already taking place for next season. And Adam, welcome to the broadcast. I feel like you've worn many hats so far this season. I've seen you fill in for color commentary on the WPNY broadcast so far this season. You were also once doing the COVID testing before one of the games, and tonight maybe we'll even see you scanning some of those tickets at the door. But actually, all joking aside, you have a serious job with the organization, keeping track of logistics, hockey operations, managing players, and also them coming and going from Utica, and the business side of the Comets too. As you focus on all of that, what has been maybe the challenge that's most required your attention this season?
Yeah, I think the biggest challenge, for us was just kind of getting to know and follow all the guidelines that the AHL puts forward, but also the state. The AHL has their guidelines, rules, regulations for players, for fans, for staff, and then obviously New York State has theirs as well. So, we were eager to get fans back in the building. So I think just keeping our ear to the ground and pushing the, political powers that we could, or listening to what they're saying about, potentially reopening. Just so we had a plan in place. So it was constant meetings. I always call them COVID meetings because we would brainstorm. We'd have a lot of questions and not a lot of answers until, kind of like that 12th hour, all of a sudden something came up and okay, we got the green light to do that. So, it was a lot of planning, a lot of plan A's, plan B's, plan C, and then if this works out, we can do this, this, and that. As far as the players up and down, that's definitely RJ. Dealing with that in Vancouver, and they had quite a task on their hand with the quarantining in Canada and all that. St. Louis a little bit more freed up to have the guys drive us to a couple states to get here so they could avoid that quarantine.
Right now, I feel like we're in a moment where we can both look back at how the season's gone so far, but also kind of look ahead to how a good portion of the season is remaining. I know that you had set goals for this season before the year even started. What were some of those goals that you feel the Comets have accomplished now at this point this season, and which are some that you still have yet to make a reality?
Yeah, I think, our initial goal was to be able to develop and produce, a great TV game, which I think, I give our staff here a tremendous amount of credit. This is something that we have never done before. And I personally have watched it. I've been on the color commentating, which was fun. But to be able to partner with WUTR and WPNY, I think, we were able to showcase some skills that our staff here has, in producing the game pregame show with Jason and the intermission reports and, getting Gary on color. I think, that was definitely one where we were racking our brains for weeks ahead of, the first puck drop. Like, how is this going to come out and is it going to look good? And I think, we've exceeded all of our expectations and we continue to keep growing and getting better at that, which is really, really nice to see, again, the staff coming together and going above and beyond, their duties. But, I think for the rest of the year and once we got the green light in April to have fans back, I think that's just kind of welcoming back more and more fans. I think, each game we're seeing more and more come through the door and we're getting a lot of phone calls. People are excited. They're getting their second shot or they're getting their tests done and they're making sure they have all the check marks so that they're able to come in. So I think, just continuing to welcome fans back in a safe manner. I think I know for a fact the guys really enjoy watching or having fans in the building. Last game, the crowd was into it, and Humphrey had that shutout. So I think the guys, even though there's only 400, to them, it feels like there's 4,000.
And on that note, Adam, from your perspective as the team vice president, when you get to the last day of the season, which is May 16th, with the roller coaster that this whole year has been for everyone, how will you know that you and the Comets have been successful?
Yeah, under normal circumstances, we have, reporting on, per game and, all different sales and things like that as a business front that we can go back to and kind of see. We always do a survey to kind of survey our season ticket holders, see how we did, what they liked, what they didn't like, and then we kind of go into our planning phase. So this year, obviously a lot different. It's uncharted waters for sure. I think we've navigated it pretty well, but I think for us, it's just a matter of, finishing the season strong, continuing to get out to that community as much as we can, given the times. But I think, the real work's going to go in this summer when we are, reinvigorating our crowds to come back out, and hopefully the building is, back rocking like it should be. But that's our goal this summer, is to, basically bring back our big crowds. And like I said, hopefully, we're at full capacity or close to it, because we got a fan base that wants to get in here and watch some Comets hockey. So tough to can't find the words right now, but it's tough to kind of, place this one against other years to go off of that. So I think, like I said, the successful TV deal and production was a big one for us. And then just getting enough fans in and talking to the fans that are able to make it to games, how excited they are to be back. So kind of build off that momentum and plan for a great year next year.
Adam Pollock, the Vice President of the Utica Comets, thanks so much for sharing your insight on the team and its workings. I know we're looking forward to tonight, and then, of course, later this season and next season as well. So it's almost time for Puck Drop against the Syracuse Crunch right here on WPNY. On the other side of the break, we're going to send it over to Comets broadcaster Jason Shia. After the game, you can continue to watch on Eyewitness News at 11 on WUTR. Until then, enjoy the game, stay friendly, and stay tuned.